So, what are some of your most favorite African American musicians? It's February, Black History Month, and I've asked some of the older kids in my music classroom to come up with lists of up to 10 of their most favorite African American musicians. And today I'd like to share just maybe two or three of my favorite musicians of African American background. I'll begin with Victor Wooten. He's one of my favorite current, still alive musicians. He is a bass player, wonderful musician, wonderful music theorist, wonderful music teacher, amazing bass player, improviser, composer, you name it. So you can look him up, Victor Wooten. Another of my most favorite African American musicians that is still alive is Wynton Marsalis. I moved to the States in the 90s as a teenager, and I had been playing trumpet since 6th grade, but when I moved to the States, I joined the band in high school, and I played trumpet throughout high school. And you remember cassette tapes? I used to walk to this large music store in Chicago downtown, Carl Fisher. And they had sheet music and records, and it used to be a tradition of mine on Saturdays to get on the elevated train, and go downtown on Wabash Street and go to Carl Fisher and just browse through hundreds of books, guitar books, piano books, trumpet books. And every now and then when I would have a few bucks on me, I would buy records, usually cassettes. Remember the little cassettes, audio cassettes, and then later CDs. But in the early 90s, mostly cassettes. So Wynton Marsalis was one of the first trumpeter that I discovered as a high school student, and listened to his recordings again and again until I wore those tapes off. So Wynton Marsalis for sure. Now I'll share a third name of an African-American musician. His name is Scott Joplin. Scott Joplin was a pianist / composer, the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century, and he was the person who put ragtime on the map. Ragtime is, the beginning of jazz. And if you've never heard of the name, I'm sure you've heard of some of his pieces, such as The Entertainer, Maple Leaf Rag, and so on and so forth. So you should look him up. How about you? How about you share one or two or more names of your most favorite African-American musicians, and share them in the comments below. I'd like to read what some of you are listening to, and that would be really awesome to read in the comments. So I'm going to let you all do most of the talking in this video by sharing some of your most favorite African-American musicians down below in the comments. Feel free to share one or two or three or more. Share the full name and their contribution to music, and I would really like to read some of those. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Have a great rest of the week. Take care.